Today we are looking at the biggest events from the last 24 hours that actually matter for preparedness, calm, practical, and regional where it counts. Event number 1. Major North American winter storm and power outages. A powerful winter storm is sweeping across large parts of the United States with more than 500,000 power outages and hazardous travel conditions across over a dozen states. Region affected is eastern and central United States, especially the southeast, mid-Atlantic, and parts of the Midwest. Why it matters? This is a live stress test of the grid, road networks, and emergency response in cold conditions. It shows how quickly basic services, power, heating, and logistics can be disrupted over a wide area at once. Prepping actions in the affected region. Power. Check backup heat options that are safe indoors. Non-electric blankets, layered clothing, safe heaters with ventilation, and so on. Water and food. Have at least several days of water stored and ready to eat food that doesn't require cooking. Mobility. Stay off roads unless essential. Keep vehicles fueled and winter kits in the car. Comms. Keep power banks charged. Know how to get local updates via radio if cell networks struggle. Global implications for other regions. This is a signal. Large-scale winter storms highlight how fragile power and logistics can be even in developed regions. This is a lesson. Any region with extreme heat, cold, or storms should assume multi-day outages are realistic, not theoretical. Well, the worst-case scenario will be prolonged outages in pockets, cascading issues with water systems and extended supply chain disruptions for fuel and groceries. Event number 2. Ongoing Russian strikes on Ukrainian cities and energy infrastructure. Russia continues drone and missile strikes on major Ukrainian cities, damaging energy infrastructure and causing civilian casualties amid freezing temperatures. Region affected is Ukraine with knock-on effects across Europe. Why it matters? Targeting energy infrastructure in winter is a direct attack on civilian resilience, heating, water, and communication. It's a real-time example of how critical infrastructure becomes the main battlefield in modern conflicts. Prepping actions for affected region. Heat and shelter. Prioritize safe indoor heating alternative, insulation, and shared warm spaces. Redundancy. Multiple ways to cook, light, and communicate. Don't rely on a single system. And community. Coordinate with neighbors for shared resources and mutual aid, especially for vulnerable people. Global implications for other preppers in other regions. Template. This is a template how it shows how any future conflict could quickly target power, water, and internet. Energy and prices. Extended damage can affect regional energy markets and, indirectly, prices and availability elsewhere. So the worst-case scenario is major prolonged grid failures, mass displacement, and broad regional instability. Event number 3. Conflicts to watch in 2026. There is a structural risk, not a single incident. Analysts highlight a growing list of conflicts and flashpoints in 2026, including Ukraine, the Middle East, and potential tensions in East Asia as key risks for international stability. Region is global: Europe, Middle East, East Asia, and beyond. This is not one headline, it's a backdrop. A more volatile world increases the odds of supply chain and disruptions, cyber incidents, energy shocks, and refugee flows, even far from the front lines. Prepping actions for lower regions. Supply resilience. Build and rotate a realistic pantry. Weeks, not years, of food and essentials you actually use. Financial buffer. Maintain some emergency savings and avoid overexposure to a single income source or sector. Cyber hygiene. Use strong passwords, backups, and offline copies of critical information in case of cyber disruptions. Global implications for preppers elsewhere. Interconnected risk. A conflict in one region can affect fuel prices, shipping routes, or key commodities worldwide. And mindset. Preparedness is less about predicting the exact conflict and more about being robust to shocks in general. So the worst case scenario is a major escalation or new conflict triggers sustained global economic and supply chain stress. Um, and the last event is US immigration clashes. Federal agents kill US citizen in Minneapolis, igniting protests. US urban centers is a region affected, like Minneapolis, flashpoints for civil unrest. Why it matters? Erodes trust in enforcement, potentially sparking localized curfews or riots. Prepping actions. Secure bug-out bags with cash, maps, avoiding checkpoints. Global implications. Precursor to policy-driven domestic instability in polarized nations. So, the worst-case scenario is national enforcement riots may appear. So, yeah, today's big picture, a historic winter storm in North America is stress testing power, hygiene, and supply chains. Conflict zones in Syria and Ukraine are reminding us that infrastructure and civilians are frontline targets. Global health coordination is under political strain while environmental shifts are changing local risk from shark attacks in Australia to disease patterns. Analysts see 2026 as a year of elevated conflict risk, which translates into more frequent shocks, not guaranteed catastrophe. Anyway, core prepping takeaways: redundancy, multiple ways to heat, cook, communicate, and get information. Buffers, reasonable stocks of food, water, meds, and cash, nothing extreme, just enough to ride out disruptions. Awareness, track local weather, infrastructure, and geopolitical trends without doom scrolling. If you found this daily regional prepping brief useful, hit like so this reaches more rational preppers and subscribe for calm daily updates. Check the description for practical checklists and simple gear recommendations. Nothing crazy, just what actually works. And in the comments, tell me which of today's events feels most relevant to whether you live and what one small step you are taking this week to be more resilient. Thank you.